Not too long ago, astronomers spotted a ghost in our cosmic backyard, something hurtling past the planets at an incredible speed, on a path that meant one thing: it was not from around here. This visitor, named 3I Atlas, came from the vast emptiness between the stars, and it kicked off one of the most exciting debates we've seen in astronomy in a long, long time.
So what exactly is this thing? Is it a pristine natural comet, a relic from another star system, giving us a priceless peek into how planets form somewhere else in the galaxy? Or is it something far more sensational, a piece of advanced alien technology, maybe even a probe sent to check us out? This is where hard science clashes with some pretty wild speculation.
You've basically got two main ideas here, two totally different camps. On one side, you have what most scientists think. 3I/Atlas is a comet. Yep, a really weird one for sure, but a natural object doing what natural objects do. On the other side, you've got a much wilder idea, arguing that its strange behavior just doesn't add up and might point to an artificial origin.
And the person really championing this alternate view is Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, who's definitely no stranger to controversial ideas. He's suggesting that we shouldn't be so quick to just call it a comet and move on. What he's basically asking is, what if we're getting this totally wrong? What if we're looking at a message or a piece of tech and just seeing a rock? It's a fascinating and maybe a little unsettling thought.
Okay, so to figure this out, we have to push the speculation to the side for a minute and just follow the data. What have our best telescopes actually seen? Let's go back to the very beginning, right when it was first spotted.
And wow, did things move fast. It was discovered on July 1st, and immediately the world's biggest and best telescopes scrambled to get a look. Just 3 weeks later, Hubble was on it. Then, a couple of weeks after that, the incredible James Webb Space Telescope turned its golden eye towards it. This was an all-hands-on-deck effort to find out our new visitor as it cruised through the inner solar system.
Okay, now look at this number, 58 kilometers per second. That's how fast 3I/Atlas was moving when it got here. To give you some perspective, that's over 130,000 miles per hour. It is just screaming fast. There's just no way our sun's gravity can grab onto something moving that quickly. It's not in orbit, it's just passing through. This is the smoking gun, the absolute proof that it's not from around here.
So here's a look at its grand tour through our solar system. It zipped past Mars, swung by the sun, and is now heading out towards Jupiter. And don't worry, you can see it was never even close to us. At its nearest, it was still almost twice the distance from the Earth to the sun, so it posed absolutely no threat. Okay, so we've tracked its path, but now let's dig into what this thing is actually made of.
All right, so it's a super fast visitor from another star. But what is it? A rock? An asteroid? Something totally different? Let's look at the physical evidence, the stuff our most powerful tools have actually seen.
Right from the get-go, this thing didn't look like a sharp point of light, like an asteroid. It looked fuzzy. And that fuzziness is what we call a coma. It's basically a cloud of gas and dust boiling off a solid core as the sun heats it up. It also had a faint little tail and a reddish color. These are all classic, textbook signs of a comet.
So the Hubble Space Telescope peered right through that fuzzy cloud to try and see the solid body at its heart. The estimate has a big range, but the most likely size is pretty small, less than a kilometer across. Now this is a really big deal, because some of the early, more sensational ideas claimed it was huge. Hubble's data brought things back down to Earth, so to speak.
And this is where things get really, really interesting. The James Webb Space Telescope can basically smell what this thing is breathing out, chemically speaking. And what it found was wild. The gas is almost all carbon dioxide. There's some carbon monoxide, a tiny bit of water, but CO2 is absolutely the star of the show.
Just how weird is that? Well, this chart really puts it into perspective. For every 1 molecule of water vapor they found 8 molecules of carbon dioxide. In our solar system, that ratio is almost always flipped. Water is king. So yeah, this thing is a total chemical oddball, one of the most CO2-rich comets we've ever seen.
But wait, there's more. Over in Chile, the Very Large Telescope found other familiar fingerprints, like cyanide and even vaporized nickel. Now, I know things like cyanide might sound pretty out there, but they're actually pretty normal ingredients in a comet's recipe book. We've seen them before in our own comets and even in the last interstellar visitor.
Okay, let's take a breath. We've got all this data now. A fuzzy coma, a tail, a small core, and a really strange but not totally alien chemical signature. It's time to revisit that big question. Comet
or alien craft.
All right, let's tackle the alien tech arguments one by one. First up was the idea that it didn't have a tail like a proper comet should. Well, the evidence is pretty clear. It did. Our best telescopes, including Hubble, took pictures of a faint but very real dust tail pointing away from the sun. Exactly what a comet's tail should do.
Okay, what about the weird metals? The claim was that finding nickel without a lot of iron pointed to some kind of manufactured alloy. But again, you have to look at the context. We know that nickel shows up in comets. We've seen it before. The amount they saw here fits perfectly with what you'd expect from a natural object.
So when you lay all the cards on the table, the evidence just stacks up on one side. It's got a coma and a tail? Check. It's spitting out gas as it gets warm? Check. The chemistry, while weird, has familiar parts? Check. And maybe the biggest thing of all, its path is perfectly explained by gravity. No weird movements, no engine burns, it's just acting like a comet.
But here's the thing. Saying it's just a comet is totally missing the point. Because as a natural object, 3I/Atlas is way more interesting. It's a messenger, carrying secrets from a star system we will never, ever see.
By tracing its journey back through the galaxy, astronomers have estimated how old this thing might be, and the number is just mind-blowing. It could be over 7 billion years old. Think about that. It might have formed before our own sun even switched on. This isn't just a rock, it's a fossil from the ancient galaxy.
And its unique chemistry tells us its entire life story. First, that crazy amount of CO2 means it had to have been born in the freezing cold outer edges of its home solar system. That right there is an amazing clue about how other systems are put together. Then, at some point, a giant planet probably kicked it out into deep space, sending it on a journey that lasted for billions of years, right into our backyard.
So in the end, 3I Atlas didn't need to be an alien spacecraft to be profound. It's a natural marvel, a messenger from a time and place we can barely even imagine. It's a reminder that our solar system isn't some lonely island. It's part of a huge, dynamic galaxy filled with these ancient travelers. And it just makes you wonder, what secrets will the next one bring?